This episode is sponsored by Big Fish Bail Bonds. Big Fish Bail Bonds is your first choice in bondsmen. We are located 3 blocks away from the Sedgwick County Jail in Wichita, Kansas. We accept all major credit cards and we accept payment plans on big bonds with no collateral in some cases. Find us at bigfishbailbonds.us or give us a call at 316-262-4100. Big Fish Bail Bonds. Big or small, we release them all.
Back Home Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggy, up here in Salina, Kansas, and joining me down there, Arizona, is Derek. And then, of course, got backstage. We got Brandon over there in the Carolinas. How's it going, Derek?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you doing? You had COVID last week.
Yes. Yeah, I had COVID last week again. Only it wasn't as bad as the first time I had it. So it was a lot milder this time.
You sent me one voicemail while you were sick, and you sounded pretty good compared to last time. Last time, I thought we might lose you. It was pretty bad sounding.
Yeah. I didn't hardly lose my voice this time. Maybe just a little bit, but not as bad as the first time. And I didn't have the fever. I might have chilled a little bit, but by and large, I think it was a lot milder. I think I got it from my brother because the Friday before I tested positive, or no, the Thursday before I tested positive, I was off that day and I went over and I picked him up from work because he needed a ride home. And then the next day on Friday, he tested positive. And then 5 days later, I test positive. So I think I got it from him.
Wow. Well, I'm glad everybody's still here. You know, it's a scary situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're having connection issues, Ricky. You're kind of cutting in and out, man. You're kind of cutting in and out, man.
I'm working and stuff, and we're having some issues too. So I don't know.
This is bad.
I have no idea. It could be because I was trying to switch profiles. I don't know.
You were trying to do what?
What's up?
What were you trying to do?
What's more? Oh, I was switching over to my page so I could send Terry to go backstage. And maybe switching over messed it up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That was a lot.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna have to start over, man. It was kind of scaring me. But anyway, I'm glad everybody's feeling better, man. Ricky's gonna go ahead. What's that, Ricky?
Hopefully I'll be backstage here shortly. Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
Okay.
I look fine on my end. This is the weird part. I look fine on my end.
Yeah, you're just really
maybe I need
cutting
to do
in
that.
and out tonight, audio wise. I don't know what's going on with it. But let's go ahead and get into some cases. Go ahead and talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Richard Beam.
Okay. Well, I totally killed my Facebook window, so maybe tab, so maybe that'll help. I don't know. But Richard Beam's missing from Wichita, Kansas since October 21st of 2022. He's 17. He is 5'8", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Richard's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And let's see if we can get Richard located and back to where he should be.
Kelly Upoff is in the house.
And Double T popped up backstage.
And we have Trisha Arnold.
How's you and the baby doing? I saw your post that you guys haven't been doing too good. Yeah, Trisha's here. She popped over and was watching me and Tatum there for a bit.
We got Ellen, we got Esther, we got Jessica Gray.
Hey, Esther, Jessica.
Baby
That's
Blue
Donda, isn't
Eyes.
it?
I think so.
Isn't that Donda? Yeah.
Diana
Hey,
Hayden.
Chris is watching us over on YouTube. Hey, Pam, how you doing?
Salty Monkeys here.
Oh, yeah? What happened to Shady Booty? I haven't seen Shady Booty in a long time.
I have not seen Shady Booty. Kelly says she's doing a lot better. She's been super sick, and I have been having dental procedures, so it's been a week. Well, that's tough to hear. That's a lot going on.
I hear you, Kelly. I just got over my second round of COVID, so I hear you about the sick part. So,
yeah. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Brian Jillian.
And this is from Parsons, Kansas, since August 18th of 2022. He's 16. He's 5'7", weighs 170 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Brian's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Parsons, Kansas Police Department, 620-421-7060 or 620-421-7057 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get Brian located and back to where he needs to be. And if you notice on the caseload tonight, we're doing 2 cold card cases instead of just 1 because we didn't have a show last week. So making up for it by doing 2 this week.
Yeah. Everybody was having a Thanksgiving last week.
No, thanks to COVID, I had to stay home. I missed the Black Friday festivities at work, all that good stuff. So missed out on a lot. It's the first Black Friday I've missed in 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us about Chauncey Conway.
All right. This is the first of the 2 of the cold case playing card cases. It's November 19th, 1991 in Wichita at a motel on North Broadway. 19-year-old Chauncey Conway was staying in a room with a girl when there was a knock at the door. When he opened the door, a man pointed a shotgun at Chauncey's face and pulled the trigger. Someone at the motel office called Chauncey's room to warn him, but the call came too late. If anybody has any information regarding Chauncey's death, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181. Or you can call the Crime Stoppers number 316-267-2111. Or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017. Or their toll-free number 1-800-572-7463. And let them know what you know about Chauncey's case to see if we can't get some justice for Chauncey and his family.
I always feel bad when there's stuff like that from 1990s, you know, like that. It's crazy. Like when people talk about the 90s now, it doesn't seem that long ago to me, but it'd be like people talking about the 70s and the 90s now, you know, it's like actually be talking about like the 50s.
Right. And Christopher Nelson saying you all are awesome. As a Kansas man here, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. You're very welcome, Christopher. Thank you.
Connie Judd's in the house. Wade out in Las Vegas is here.
Yeah, Connie's asking about Kenny Sedley. I have not heard a word about Kenny. I wished I would, wished we would hear something somewhere. It's just been too quiet for too long.
Yeah. Not good at all. Let's talk about Robert Newman. And this is going to be one of your cold case cards of the week.
Yep, this is the second of the 2. Okay, this is November 25th, 2012, also Wichita, Kansas. He was found dead from a gunshot wound at his home at 3501 West 9th Street in Wichita by his older brother who had come by to check on him. Robert, who was retired from Boeing, lived alone. He had been shot and there were no signs of forced entry. His house was cluttered with items related to fixing small engines. He repaired items such as lawnmowers and weed eaters and four-wheelers, primarily to keep busy and to have contact with other people. He operated a cash-only business. He was last known to have contact with someone between 9 and 10 the night before he was found. Some property was missing from his residence. If you have any information regarding his death or any other felony crime, you can call Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111. You can also submit a tip online at www.crimestoppers.com or wichitacrimestoppers.com, or from your mobile phone by texting tip 217 and your message to crimes, which is 274-637. All ways are secure and anonymous. If your tip leads to an arrest, you may be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,500, and Crime Stoppers will never ask your name. You can also call KBI at 1-800-572-7463 and give them the information as well, and see if we can help get some justice for Robert and his family.
So Crime Stoppers has been doing this for 40 years, it says?
Yeah, celebrating 40 years of solving crimes, it says. So they've been doing it a while.
And everything's anonymous through them, so you would never know how many crimes have been solved because of tips through Crime Stoppers, because it's anonymous.
Right. And Baby Blue Eyes says she's hoping to get a deck of those cards soon from her son. And Rodney Cox says, watch you guys every time you're on. A great service you all provide. Well, thank you, Rodney. Appreciate that.
Let's talk about Jesse Estrada.
Oh, really? There he is. He is missing from Kansas City, Kansas since November 20th of this year. He's 15. He's 5'5", weighs between 130 and 135 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Jesse's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Jesse located and back to where he needs to be.
I saw one of the flyers you did. It said it's for the next no, not the next one. Yeah, it is the next one we're covering. Jayvan Scott.
Mm-hmm.
His flyer says Missouri, but you got it in blue.
Yeah, I messed up when I did his. I accidentally put it on the blue. It should have been on the black. I think I did his brother's on the blue. Yeah, I think I did his brother on the blue one too. His brother, what is his brother's name?
Malachi, I think is next. Yeah.
Jay Scott's missing from Kansas City, Missouri since November 19th, 2022. He's 10 years old. He's 5'3", weighs 130 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He's last seen in the area of 99th and Richmond Avenue in Kansas City. It's believed he may be with his 15-year-old brother Malachi Scott, who's also considered a missing, endangered runaway. Again, Jayvon's 10. He's 5'3", weighs 130 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He was last known to be wearing an orange shirt, blue shorts, and flip-flops. If you have any information regarding Jayvon's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5100 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422 and see if we can't get Jayvan and Malachi located and back to where they need to be.
And I'll go ahead and put Malachi on the screen.
Ready? Malachi has been missing from Blue Springs, Missouri since November 19th of 2022. He's 15. Was not able to get a height or a weight, but he has black hair and brown eyes. It's believed that Malachi picked up with his 10-year-old brother, Jayvan Scott, from the 99th and Richmond area of Kansas City. It's unknown if they left on foot or were in a vehicle. Again, he's 15. I don't have a height or weight. He has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Malachi's disappearance or you know of his or Jayvon's whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Blue Springs, Missouri Police Department at 816-228-0150 or 816-228-0151 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number 866-362-6422. See if we can't get both these young men located and back to where they need to be.
That is really scary. They're young.
Yeah, I wished I knew more about their backstories, why Malachi's in Blue Springs and Jayvan's in Kansas City.
Who knows,
That's
man?
been the question I've been wanting to know. I haven't seen any clarification by law enforcement or anything on that. Yep, definitely so young. And then, thank you. I really appreciate that, missing persons. I'm not sure who runs missing persons, but thank you.
Somebody else doing what we're doing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a missing person show in every state is what we need to do. Let's go ahead and talk about Marlene.
Okay. Marlene, I think it's I believe. Castaneda. She's moved from Carlsbad, California since October 1st of 2012. She was 54 when she went missing. She'll now be 64. She's 5'5", weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, has red or auburn hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at the Pizza Port restaurant in Carlsbad Village Drive in Carlsbad. Neither her family, including her daughter, nor friends have heard from her since she went missing. She was last known to be driving a 2001 beige Dodge Grand Caravan with California license plate 4SHU678. All activity on Marlene's cell phone and bank accounts has stopped, and she has completely stopped communicating with her family. Marlene, who lives with a roommate in Larchwood Drive near Heatherwood Drive in Oceanside, is married but separated from her husband and was in the process of divorcing him. He has been interviewed by police and is cooperating with her investigation into her disappearance. At the time of her disappearance, she was 54. She would now be 64. She's about 5'5", weighs between 150 and 160 pounds. She has red or auburn hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Marlene's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Oceanside, California Police Department at 760-435-4639 or 760-435-4911. See if we can help get Marlene located and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah,
it's an interesting case.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about for sure.
Yeah.
I wish there was enough manpower to do like deep dives on every single case.
Oh, I know, right? That's really all I had to go by for Marlene's case. Was there's a decent amount of media coverage. So, I mean, I had a lot of different articles to read and go through. But even still, there's still unanswered questions, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's hard to say.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Carrie Allen, Nebraska case.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This one's interesting. Let's see. Carrie Allen's missing from Omaha, Nebraska since November 19th of 2022. She's 43 years old, 5'8", weighs 130 pounds. She has blonde or strawberry hair and hazel eyes. Carrie, who is divorced and has a teenage son, was last seen at her West Omaha home near 168th and Blondo Streets. Authorities in Topeka, Kansas, searched the home of an Aldrich Scott, 47, on Tuesday after an alarming 911 call was made that a man living at his address may have killed his girlfriend. An arrest warrant was issued Wednesday for Aldrich, who's been charged with Carrie's kidnapping and accessory to a felony. He was not in custody as of yet, and from what I've been seeing and hearing, it is believed that he may have fled the country. The Douglas County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office led multiple searches, including at the Pheasant Point landfill in Bennington, Nebraska. Again, Carrie's 43. She's 5'8", weighs 130 pounds. She has blonde hair, blonde or strawberry, and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Carrie's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Douglas County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office at 402-444-5804. With the Nebraska Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 877-441-5678. and see if we can help get Carrie located and back home to where she needs to be. And here's an interesting twist in this situation, at least for me. I had somebody message me the other day and sent me screenshots of Carrie and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, I said, I've got a flyer posted for her on Kansas Missing and Unsolved, and thanked them for it. And then they sent another screenshot of Aldrich's Facebook showing me as a mutual friend of Aldrich. And I'm like, excuse me? And asked me if I knew I was friends with him. And I couldn't remember being friends with him. But I looked back on Messenger to see if I'd ever talked to him. And lo and behold, March of 2021, I had did a flyer for a son of his that was missing. He had posted like on Topeka Police Scanner or something like that. And it out to him because somebody had tagged me and contacted him. And, he said he was just lost and didn't know what to do and stuff. And so I went ahead and made the flyer and got it posted, and he's subsequently been found. But here we go, a year fast forward to now, and now he's wanted for kidnapping and possible disappearance of another person. So, I mean, it's interesting, that what some of the stuff that goes on when you're doing missing person stuff that can happen like that.
Yeah. That's
like I say, right now they're thinking he may have fled the country. So I don't know.
I'm just going to say this. Like, she does not really look 43. She looks younger.
Yeah, she does.
I thought it was a typo because the flyers are smaller on my screen, because I got a bunch of stuff open.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a typo.
Here's another little interesting thing. She's missing from Omaha. He lives in Topeka. Supposedly, from what I've been seeing, the 911 phone call came from somebody in Texas.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. And supposedly he's got family in Texas, so I don't know if it was a family member of his or what, but I don't know. Very interesting stuff.
Wow.
But I don't Carrie found and back to her family because I know she's got a son, that's trying to find her and stuff, and so hopefully. I know they searched Carrie's house as well. They towed her car, from what I've seen, and they're doing a forensic investigation of her car. So hopefully we can help get her found.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Alexis. I guess she goes by Lexi.
Yeah. I'm going to cover her flyer. Then I'm going to go into some stuff for her flyer. As soon as I and there she's in here. No, at the very top. No wonder I couldn't find her. Okay, Alexis Alexi Marrero. She's missing from Newark, Delaware since October 1st, 2022. She's 15. She's 4'11", weighs 118 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. She went missing from the Christiania Mall in Newark, Delaware on October 1st, 2022. Alexis' cell phone was found in the mall parking lot, and her social media accounts have not been active since she went missing. It's believed that she engaged several members of the public to seek assistance in transportation using cell phones and possibly finding places to stay. It's believed that Alexis stayed at a residence in Middletown, Delaware on October 2nd, 2022, nearly 20 miles south of that mall. Alexis was last seen in Cecil County, Maryland on October 7th, 2022. It's believed she may still be in the local Newark area, or she may be in the Middletown, Delaware, Northeast Maryland, Pennsylvania, District of Columbia, or Virginia areas. Again, she's 15 years old. She's 4'11", weighs 118 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. Some of the other, I've seen some videos that her cousin's posted on her TikTok. And her cousin is saying that Alexis was last seen with two 20-year-old men, and that both of these men have since lawyered up. They will not talk to police. They will not talk to private investigators. They will not even talk to Alexis's family. So it's very important that we try to help get her found. And if anybody does have any information regarding her disappearance, her whereabouts, please call Detective Kerrigan of the Troop 2 Criminal Investigative Unit over there in Delaware at 302-365-8436, or by calling the Delaware Crime Stoppers number 800-847-3333. And this case really bothered me because I was reading through media articles on her case, and one article in particular, and I have it linked under her flyer in the comments, stated that, okay, she went missing on October 1st. All the media that I'm seeing came out on November 23rd, over a month and a half later. And the one article I read stated that the Delaware State Police typically does not do press conferences on missing persons. And similarly, that news outlet that posted that article said they didn't either, because typically juveniles are found very quickly. I'm thinking, okay, you waited over a month and a half to get her out there in the media. Okay, to me, missing persons are no different than, like homicides, robberies, whatever. The first 48 hours are the most critical time in any investigation, and to wait over a month and a half to finally get media involved and get her face out there, I have a real big issue with that. I mean, it really bothered me. I mean, I've talked about it before that right now our kids are more accessible to these predators and stuff than any time ever, because of cell phones, tablets, computers, PlayStations, Xboxes. And they approach them through like Facebook, through Instagram, through TikTok, through Snapchat, and all these other ones and stuff. I mean, we really got to start cracking down and watching what our kids are doing, talk to them, educate them, let them know what's going on out there. Let them know that there are people out there that will hurt them and make them do things, and it won't even bother them to do it, because all they're trying to do is make money off of them. So it's going to be up to us. I said this on the show that I did earlier tonight with Tatum, that it does take a village, and we're going to have to be that village to keep our kids safe. We're just going to have to. It's just ridiculous. It really is. But again, if you have any information on Alexis's disappearance, again, those numbers are Detective Kerrigan of the Troop 2 Criminal Investigative Unit at 302-365-8436, or Delaware Crime Stoppers 1-800-847-3333, and see if we can't help get her located and back to her family. I know her family is looking high and low. They're sharing this flyer, I know. So let's get them out there. Let's get it out there and get it going. Yeah, I agree with Trisha. Waiting that long is ridiculous. Very. Especially when you got two 20-year-old guys that were last known to have been with her. They've lawyered up, won't talk to anybody. I mean, it's got to get her found.
Yeah. So that's a brand new case. Well, not brand new, just a couple of months. But
yeah, that's why I took it upon myself to do this flyer, because it's like, if I would have known about it before a month and a half, I would have done it before a month and a half. But like I said, I didn't know about it until I saw the media that came out on November 23rd. So it's like unreal. I mean, I've respected law enforcement and stuff. There's just some things I don't agree with, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Those days of saying, oh, they're just a runaway, or they willfully ran away, or they willingly ran away, those days are over. That might have worked in the 70s, the 80s, and even into the early 90s and stuff. But with all these avenues that these kids can be approached through, those days are over. They're just over.
Yeah. We got some comments here. Sounds like negligence is so stupid that they waited that long. Had they not waited so long, they might have had a better chance of being back home where she belongs.
Yeah.
This is how about the case of the newscaster's family that hasn't been heard from since June or July? I'm not familiar.
I did a flyer. It was Jenna. I can't think of her last name. Jenna and her little baby boy. Did a flyer. Her dad's actually a photojournalist with WIBW, and I reached out to him after somebody tagged me and got a flyer going for him. And the police have made contact with her and verified that her and the baby are okay, but she doesn't want her location disclosed.
Okay. So she's alive.
She is considered located safe by law enforcement. Yeah, Felsberg. That's it, Jenna Felsberg. But she should be on the located safe reel.
Okay.
But
beautiful. Love that. Love the located safe reels.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Rocky.
All right. This was one I just did recently also. Here he is. Let's see. Rocky McClary. He's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since November 19th, 2022. He's 38. He is 5'10", weighs 230 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was carrying a black, the Godfather DLX backpack, which you can see pictured there at the bottom. I had to research they sent me the picture of the backpack. I had to research to find out the brand and the name, and everything. And that's a pretty pricey backpack, I got to tell you. One website I found it on, they were sold out of it, but it was a $133 backpack. So I'm like, wow. But if you have any information regarding Rocky's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or call KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Rocky located and back to his family. I know they're looking hard and trying to get him located and make sure he's okay. It's been a little over about 2 weeks now, so need to help get him found.
Yeah, that's.
And y'all tell I'm a little worked up tonight.
You are. I like it though. I like the enthusiasm, man. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about a lot of cases, man. I feel about all the cases, but sometimes these cases grab you. They get personal.
Yeah, they do.
Let's talk about is it Shakizi?
I believe that might be it. I'm not 100% sure. Her mom actually messaged me through Missouri Missing and Unsolved. I forgot what name I was looking for. Kilpatrick, that's it. No, way up there. Okay. Yep, this is an Arkansas case. This Shakizi Kilpatrick Marks. She's missing from Sherwood, Arkansas since November 2nd of this year. She's 23. She is 6'1", weighs 165 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Her cell phone's currently turned off and she does not have a vehicle. Again, she's 23, 6'1", 165. Has short and natural kinky black hair, but she does sometimes wear wigs like the bright yellow one you see there. And she does have brown eyes. She has Woogie tattooed on her left eyebrow. She has Clinton tattooed on her left wrist and a tattoo of a triangle with eyes on the inside of her left shoulder. She was last known to be wearing a white t-shirt, tan joggers, and white shoes. She did leave with a backpack with an outfit in it because she was going to spend the night with her friend. And it is believed, her mom said she was told at one point that she might be in the Kansas City area, so might keep her eyes out in the Kansas City area over there. If you have any information regarding Shakisa's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call Detective Osborne with the Sherwood, Arkansas Police Department at 501-835-1425. See if we can't help get her located and back home to where she needs to be. I know her mom's just beside herself worried about Shakisa and wanting to get her found and back home safe.
That's a really cool name. I hope I said it right.
Yeah.
Arkansas. Arkansas is a beautiful state, man. You ever been there much?
I've never been there, no. I wouldn't mind going.
Tell you what, man, really, really pretty state. And I never would have thought it was pretty because, I don't know, I just never really heard much about it. But I had to drive through Arkansas several times in my 20s. Really beautiful state, man. Like, if you're ever in the area, check it out. Yeah.
I've heard it's really pretty there. Yeah, I have a friend that lives there.
Time to go visit him. It's a great place, man. Let's talk about Alexander Jones.
All right. My friend that lives there is one that actually got me started making flyers and getting me into this whole thing. So, Kimberly, thank you.
That's awesome.
All right, Alexander Alex Jones. He's missing from Topeka, Kansas since November 27th of this year. He's 17. He is 6'2", weighs 175 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He does have tattoos on his arms. I don't know any descriptions or have any photos, so if anybody can help with that, that would be great. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department. It's 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Alexander located and back to where he needs to be.
That's pretty, anytime you see anybody missing this close to the holidays, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Jade Temple.
Yeah, this one kind of threw me because I'd made a flyer for her before, and I didn't realize she had been located, and then I saw where she had gone missing again, so I had to update the flyer and get it remade and everything, which wasn't a problem. But she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 22nd of this year. She's 16, 5'4", weighs 140 pounds, has naturally blonde hair that's dyed black and blue eyes. It's believed that she's still in Wichita. Again, she's 16, 5'4", weighs about 140 pounds. She has blonde hair that was last known to be dyed black, but it is fading, and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Jade's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get Jade located and back to where she needs to be.
You always get nervous when you see somebody missing in Wichita in the big cities, Arkansas is pretty, but has terrible roads. I could believe that. Esther's here.
Hey, Esther. How you doing tonight?
Let's talk about Michael Templeton. Similar last name.
Yeah, I just he was recently located, but he went missing again. And I was sent a picture in the ball cap, and that picture also had that tattoo on his arm. And I thought, hey, I've never had that before, so I'm going to highlight that. And Michael Wiseman Templeton, he's missing from Pittsburgh, Kansas, since November 11th of this year. He is 17 years old. He is 6'5", weighs 245 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. I believe he may be in the Everton, Missouri area. Yeah, again, he's got that tattoo on his right arm there. It's on the outside of his right forearm. Looks like a cross and possibly a big rose underneath it, maybe. But if you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Pittsburgh, Kansas Police Department at 620-231-1700 or at KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Michael located and back to where he needs to be. I'm telling you.
Have we ever covered him before?
Hey, Michael? Oh yeah, a couple of times at least.
Okay, I was gonna say, these kids look familiar, but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I did add that center photo with the St. Louis Cardinals hat on there, so
nice.
That may have been one because before I just had the two other photos.
And then you got the tattoo on there. That's always good.
Right.
Let's talk about Kristen and Jack. This looks like this is going to be two kiddos on the same flyer. I'm interested to hear the story.
Yeah. It ran across it when I was on Twitter yesterday and cross-referenced it back to the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Facebook. Have since talked with one of Jack's aunts, so I was able to get some clarification on some things. But Kirsten Wayne and Jack Goldman are both missing from Kansas City, Missouri since November 27th. She is 14 years old. She's 5'5", weighs 110 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He is 15 years old. He is 5'7", weighs between 120 and 130 pounds. He has red hair and blue eyes. Kirsten was last seen in the 3400 block of Northwest 69th Terrace in Kansas City. Jack was last seen at 4:25 p.m. on Northwest 72nd Street and North Polk Avenue, Kansas City. It's believed that he was walking in the direction of Kirsten's house. They are believed to have left their respective residences on foot and are believed to be together. And Kirsten's 14 years old, 5'5", weighs 110 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Jack is 15 years old. He's 5'7", weighs between 120 and 130 pounds. And he has red hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kirsten's or Jack's disappearance, or you know of their whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's juvenile section at 816-234-5150 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422 and see if we can't help them locate it and back to where they need to be. Yep. Interesting case. I don't know what the reasons for running or anything. I never have seen or read anything about that part, but important thing is we got to help get them found and back to where they need to be.
Yeah, that's this will be my second Christmas doing this show, I think.
Yeah.
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 This is my third Christmas doing the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, third. So it's the same story every holiday season. You're like, how this is awful time for kids to go missing during the holiday season. You know?
I know it.
Let's talk about Dietrich Foster. We haven't covered him in a little while, and I was kind of curious if there are any updates. And I always like to cover cases that have the governor's reward.
Yeah, Dietrich Foster's been missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 40. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020. He was last seen around April 12th in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into his disappearance. Again, when he went missing, he was 37. He's now 40. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is also a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So if anybody has any information, please speak up and call in and let them know what you know. See if we can help find him. And if it is true that he was murdered, get some justice for him and his family, because I know they're just really, really looking.
I wish people knew exactly why they had to put responsible for the disappearance or suspected murder. Like, they know something.
Yeah.
There's some story going around.
Yeah. I mean, I used the exact wording they used. So, I mean, that's their wording, not mine.
No, I know. I just, you just know that when they put that on there, that means that there's probably some information that's not too good that hasn't been shared with the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Trisha's right. It's too cold for people to be out there.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. I don't like being out there when I'm out there walking my dogs. When it's cold and it's like, hurry up, guys, so we can get back in the house.
I can't imagine it, man. It's. I feel like it's cold here in the morning. I can't imagine what it's like in Kansas right now.
Yeah, it's been dipping down into the 30s and stuff. Actually, tomorrow's high is supposed to be 71. So, and then Saturday supposed to dip right back down to 39. So, Kansas, gotta love it.
Let's talk about our friend Dana Jane Bruce.
Okie dokie. Dana is missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She'd now be 37. She is 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair and green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on that night. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 37. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number is 866-362-6422 and see if we can't help get her located and back home to her family. So I know they're looking high and low and really wanting her home.
Of course, Ellen.
You're very welcome, Ellen. I just keep praying that it helps shake something loose eventually.
Yeah, to Neil saying it'd be the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Donda says it's always cold on her birthday.
Yeah.
I love that we got some more than just Trisha on YouTube these days. We got a couple people on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Still the most people watch on Kansas Missing Unsolved, the Facebook page, but it's always cool to see him on other places. Let's talk about Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny. He's missing from here in Salina since November 4th of 2019. So he was 69 went missing, now 72. He's 5'9", weighs 175 pounds. He's gray, has gray hair and blue eyes. Sorry. Sometimes he does use the last name Brown as opposed to his given name of Rychek. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities, and he is on disability. He has not tried to access any of his money since he was last seen. It's believed that he may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around the Colby area. He was seen at the last seen at the Gospel Mission in Salina. He left there and hasn't been seen or heard from since. Kenny does not have a phone, a vehicle, or any identification. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Kenny was 69. He's now 72. He's 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. My understanding was he had a couple of payees that looked after his money, and they weren't real gracious with giving him money when he was out and about. So he would pick up scrap metal with his bike and take it over to what it used to be called Salina Iron and Metal. Now it's called All Metal Recycling. And he would cash it in there for a few extra bucks to carry around. And last I talked to them, they hadn't seen or heard from him since he's been missing either. So makes it even a little bit more scary knowing that he's not, visiting his usual places that he visits. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or you can call KBI at 785-296-4017. And, let them know what you might know and see if we can't get Kenny found. I've said it before, I hope he's out there living a good life and stuff. And he may not even realize he's missing for that matter. But, like I said, with all these cold winters we've had, blistering hot summers we've had, it's hard to hang on to that hope. But I keep trying every day, with all these, same with all these other missing person cases. I try to hold out hope that they're all out there doing well. And, I know it's not realistic to think they're all going to be found safe because that's just simply not the case. As we've seen several over the course of the last 10 years that have been found deceased and things. And it's sad, but it happens.
Yeah. Well, I have the same question every week. Maybe I'm going to do some digging. My wife works with special needs individuals and their finances. I'm going to ask her if she knows anything about how to find out if those checks are getting cashed.
Yeah. That's a big question I'd like to know too.
And trust me, you don't want to tick off old Stephanie Relaford.
Yeah, we got one more, I believe, to cover tonight.
Our buddy Alexander. Let's hear about him.
And being that December 1st of 2020, we're officially at 2 years today when he went missing. He's 35 when he went missing. He's now 37. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He had called a family member via telephone on December 1st and said he'd be coming to their home to do laundry. He never arrived at that family member's home, and he has not been heard from or been seen since by anybody. He had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed that Alexander may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding areas. Of course, we've all heard the rumors, that's been going around, but hopefully they're not true. At the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 37. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair. Like I say, he shaves it nearly bald and brown eyes. He has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he does have a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. You can see there. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Alex located and back to his family. I mean, today, like I said, it's a 2-year anniversary today of his disappearance.
Sheesh.
Hmm. 2 years.
And then, of course, we have this voicemail that was sent December 6th of 2020. So just shy of 2 years ago, this voicemail was sent.
I don't know, man. I'm supposed to be going back early morning to go get some shit and then go get some other stuff down there and bring it back down here, but I don't even know, man. It's been wild down here. It's been crazy. Fucking been held at gunpoint and robbed and tried to beat me up. It's a bunch of crazy shit going on in GC, man.
Yeah. This really kind of bothers me to hear that call, because it just kind of almost sounds like a preface to might have what have happened to him. Hope not, but And Diana was saying last anyone heard his checks were not being cashed. Meaning Kenny's, and she says I also believe that his payee has also passed away since then. So,
wow.
They had 2 of them though, so there should still be one around. At least I was told he had 2. I don't know if that was accurate or not, but that's what I was told.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Brandon has a nice located safe for us, and that's what this whole thing's about,
Cool.
is trying to bring people home. So let's go ahead and play that real quick. We'll be right back after this. We got a few minutes here left in the show.
Okay. I always like to see those. Tennille Shantae Bressler. It's so wonderful of you two to do this. Thank you. You're very welcome, Tennille. We've been doing it now almost coming up on 3 years. I think it'd be 3 years in March.
And then we have Brandon Smith backstage.
Yeah.
Double T does a lot of research and writing. And
right now he's feeding his face.
He's feeding his face. Ricky has a ton of help over on the Facebook page from Tatum. It takes a village for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's busying herself with her page and stuff like that now. So she's a busy person.
Is Madison Youngblood related to Kelsey Youngblood?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's making me wonder where Kelsey's at because I haven't seen her in a few weeks.
Yeah. Missed doing the show last week. We was messed up. And of course, Thanksgiving. Of course, had COVID. So I still could have done the show even though I had COVID. But
yeah,
thanks. Just like I said, I didn't have it the second time as I did the first time. So
yeah.
Fortunately, and thank God above for that. And I mean that sincerely, not sarcastically. Thank God above that it'd get bad because I know it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm thinking I got it from my brother because I picked him up from work last Thursday, and the day after I picked him up, he tested positive. Then I tested positive 5 days later. So I think I got it from him.
Wow.
It's all double T. I don't know, though. I could be wrong. Yeah. But now, like I said, we've been doing this podcast coming up on 3 years in March for over 2.5 years. So I've been doing this quite a long time as far as the flyers and stuff go. Very long time. I can't believe it's been 10.5 years already.
Right.
And I've often said that I'm going to keep doing this until either my services aren't needed or until God calls me home, whichever one comes first. So, Diane had double T.
Yeah.
I love it. With that, I'll go to our usual closing and say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to allow us to go over these missing persons cases and unsolved homicide cases, and just pray that they reach the right ears and the right hearts that will do the right things and make those calls and say, hey, here's what I know, and get some justice for some folks and help bring some folks home. And just pray that it happens. And until next week, until we see each other again and get to go over some more cases and do some more talking, stay safe, take care of each other. Amen. Love you guys. Have a good night.